Well, the Fed met this week, and it was the perfect example of how these Fed meetings and the Fed rate really don't have very much of an impact on true mortgage interest rates. So, what do I mean by that? Well, the Fed met this week and they said they were not going to change anything. So, here in the mortgage world, we're always trying to say, okay, just because the Fed cut, or just because they didn't cut, or just because they raised, doesn't necessarily mean that there's an inline reaction with mortgage interest rates. Well, this week, when the Fed decided to stay steady and not cut rates, when that happened, we actually saw mortgage interest rates improve. Now, the improvement was slight. It was not earth-shattering, but why is that? Well, it really comes down to the bond market reacting to data and looking at this move as good for inflation. Then if you look back at the November and December meetings, we saw the Fed cut rates and the bond market didn't react very positively. That's because they were looking at the data, maybe some concerns that that's not necessarily going to help inflation. When we look at what happened this last week, it is a positive move, and it is also pointing to the fact that we should really pay more attention to the bond market and to the data such as PCE, shelter, all of that data that goes into how the bond market reacts to these sort of things when we look to see what mortgage interest rates are going to do and are doing right now. It's a good time to lock in your rates if you're under contract. And it's always a good time to purchase a home no matter what. The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. If you have anyone that needs pre-approved or you need to get pre-approved to purchase or refinance, please let me know. I'd love to help.